We're moving on to the C6 diatonic scales. Now you might say, how is that different than taking C6 chords and adding the notes of the scale to it? Well, here we're going to move every note one step in the scale, okay? So when our root is C and the next note is D, we're going to move that. We're going to move our whole hand. So if we have this note, if we have an E, we're going to raise that up also to the next note of the scale, okay? Which would be F. So there are hand positions that accommodate that movement. And here they are. We're going to start with a C6 with the root on top. Now why C6? We need a major chord. We could play C, we could play C major 7, or we could play C6. But we already love C6, so we're going to use that as our root. Okay, so we'll start with a C6 chord. Now instead of going like this and adding the D note to the C6 chord, we're going to move every note in the C6 chord up to the next note in that scale, and that is going to give us a D minor 7. Okay, we're going to do it again. We're going to move up 2 frets to E minor 7. We're moving every note in the scale. Now, the 4th chord is another 6 chord. It's a major chord. The 5 chord is a major chord. Okay. The 6th is a minor chord. The 7, the major 7 note here, there are 2 ways to play it. One is as a diminished chord. I'm probably mostly going to do that. And another way is minor 7 flat 5. Minor 7 flat 5. And after that, we have the root again, but it's too high for me to play a C6, so I'm just going to play that note, the C note. Now let's start over. Now you'll notice there's a pattern to this, and there is a formula to all these diatonic chord scales. The root is major. The 2nd chord, or the 2, is minor. 3 is also a minor chord. The 4 chord is major. The 5 chord is major. The 6 chord is minor. And the 7 chord is either diminished or minor 7 flat 5. And then we end up with the root on top. Well, that sounds like a lot to remember. But all you really have to remember is that after the root, most things just happen twice. Okay, so we have this root. We have the D minor 7 to the E minor 7. That happened twice. Now we have the F, I'm using an F6 here, to G6. Okay, that happened twice. Now we have this 6 chord, octave of our C6 chord open, 6 on top, 7, I'm going to use a diminished, and the root if I could reach it. So let's play that all together. Join me here. We're going to play C6. Now bar at the 5th fret for D minor 7. Sounds great, doesn't it? E minor 7. F6. G6. The 6th chord is minor, barring all the way across, A. And now we have the diminished chord and the root. Practice this until you're comfortable with it, and then join me on the play along.